Hi, this is Tarina Matthews from Tarina Matthews Photography, and today I'm doing a tutorial using the Squijoo smoke bomb overlays. I have up right now the sample picture that they showed for the smoke bomb overlay, and it's really cute. So I'm going to actually try to recreate this as much as possible. I do apologize if there's any background noise as we're traveling today, so I hope you can hear me. I'm first going to get rid of this right here, and I'm just going to click out of that. I've created this sample picture. Well, they've sent me the sample picture so that I can use exactly what they did, and then I wanted to show you that I just opened the folder that has all of the smoke bombs. And I chose 6 of them that I thought would work for how I'm going to do this. So what I want to do is I'm going to drag each of the layers into this photo to make different layers, and then it'll show up over here on the right hand side. I'm going to start with red. And I'm just going to drag it over to the picture, and then I'm going to make it the size. Before I turn it into a screen, I'm going to make it the size that I would like. You can also change this and see right here over on the right hand side, you can see that it's shown up as layer 1. I'm going to change the name of that and just make it red, just so I can keep track. So I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to change the size, and you can even, if you want it to be a little more straight up and down, you can change that as well. So now I'm going to go back over to my layer. Oh, I want to click OK. So now I'm going to go back over to my layer, and I'm going to add a layer mask, and that's right down here at the bottom. Just click that and you'll see a little white rectangle open up. I'm going to change this to a screen. So right here you'll see where it says normal, there's a little click down. Click on that and you're going to click screen. So far so good. So I see some outlines of this, and so I want to get rid of any kind of fogging or outline of the original image. So I'm going to click on my layers mask right here. I'm going to go over here to my brush tool, and up here at the top it says opacity, and I like to use about an 80% brush, and then my flow is generally around 30, 31. It doesn't, whatever it lands on. I just like that. I'm going to make sure that right here that my brush is clicked on the black, and I'm going to make my brush a little bigger, and I'm just going to brush over the edges just to get rid of the little harsh edges. There we go. And if you ever want to check where you've taken away from, you can click the backspace or the back bar, and it'll give you the red. And where the red shows up is where you've taken away. You click it again, it'll go away. So now I'm going to go over to the orange, do the same thing. I'm going to drag it into my picture, and see each layer is going on top of the other. And again, drag it to the size that you'd like. I think I want this a little bigger. And again, you can change the size of each layer once you get everything situated. You can move them around. I'm going to change this layer's name to orange. And again, I just do that. Oh, one thing I forgot, and I always do this and I don't know why I didn't. Before you start anything else, you always want to make a copy of your background. So go back over to your background, go up to layer, duplicate layer, and just a background copy. That way, if for whatever reason, if you alter your picture, you're only altering the background copy and the actual background of your copy is never changed. Alright, so let's go back up to the orange. We're going to change that again to a screen. And I know it seems like it's really, really light, but we're going to fix that all at the very end. So again, I want to go over and get rid of, I know it doesn't seem like you can see some harsh edges, but I know that they're in there. So you might want to go back through and just kind of brush around the edges and get them off the person. If there's a person in your picture, you want to make sure that you're brushing off the person so that they aren't getting any of the color on them. Okay. So let's go grab another color. This time yellow. This one's going to go right like on top of them. So we're really going to need to make sure and get in there. I want this a little more straight up and down. I'm going to add a mask to that. And turn that into a screen. Now see, it's right on top of our people, and we don't want that. So first of all, we're going to get rid of the harshness around the edges again. And if you find that you don't get all the harsh edges out after the fact, you can go back and go to the layer and make sure that you get those harsh layers moved or brushed off. Alright, so let's get these off our people. Again, I'm still on a brush. I'm going to bring that size of the brush down. And you're just going to start. This one you could probably bump up a little more because you want it 100% off of them. You don't want any of it on them. And this is just a matter of brushing away. And you don't want any ghosting around, so you don't want to go too far outside because you don't want them to be, see how I did that? You don't want them to be outlined with ghosting. So if you get that, you can just click the brush over to the left side with the white, and you can brush that right back in. And go back with the black. You may have to just go back through with a smaller brush. You can always go smaller. Zoom into your picture. The much smaller, finer brush. And go the outline of their faces. And again, to see where you've gotten all this layer off of, you can back See, I've missed some right here and right here, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to make sure, make it a little bigger, make sure I really get in and get all of that color off of my people. I still like to use the flow at 30%, even with a 100% brush when I'm masking colors off of people. Because I don't get as much of that ghosting. And again, if I do, I can always go back through with a white brush and color it back in. I think I got a little too much around his face. Smaller brush. And then switch to a black brush, a little bigger. Just brush it all out. Get all the details. And I think some of this down at the bottom might be okay, but for this purpose, I'm just going to brush it all out, just so you know. And then down here at the bottom, I don't want it to have that harsh line. So I'm going to check. I think I see some right here. Okay, I'm going to check just to make sure I got my people all brushed off. A little bit right here to do. A little on his shirt. Check it again. I keep checking back and forth just to make sure I get everything. I got a little ghosting at the top I want to get rid of. I don't want his hair to look funny. Looks pretty good. Okay. Something as I go, I don't want to save this yet, but I do want to take a snapshot so that I can see where I've started and where I've ended, or where I'm at actually. So I go into my history and I just click the little camera so that I can go back and forth, just kind of seeing where I started and where I'm at. It looks pretty good so far. And I know again that these aren't dark, but we're going to fix that. I'm going to show a couple of different ways. Now, because we really masked out the two people, the yellow layer is really going to have to stay put. All the other layers, you can probably move around and change. I need to change the name of that layer. Because if I move that, it's gonna move where I mask them out. So I don't want to do that. But all the other colors I'll be able to move. Okay. So let's bring in another color. I'm at the top here. 3, 4. This is green. Click and drag over to my picture. And as with everything in Photoshop, there's always more than one way to do what I'm doing. So if I wanted to just Command A because I'm on a Mac, or Control A if I'm on a PC, and then copy this image, and then go over to my image and then go up to edit and then put paste. That'll paste it as well. I just like to drag the image over. It just seems easier to me. So now with this one, I'm gonna add a mask layer, and then I'm gonna call it green. And then I'm gonna change the size. Also, if you don't know this little trick, I'm not sure on a PC, but on a Mac, if you hold the shift key and drag a corner, it'll keep the same aspect ratio. So I'm just going to put this where I think it's going to look good. And again, I can change the sizes and move things except for the yellow layer after the fact. Click OK. And then I'm going to change it to screen. That looks pretty good. I might change it, might tilt it just a little bit, because there's so many, I want them to kind of overlap. And I want to get rid of all the harsh lines again, so I'm going to come over here to my screen. Oh, gotta click OK. Gotta come over here over to my screen, or yeah, my mask. Click on the black. Sorry about that. Click on the black. I'm going to go back down to 80% opacity. Make my brush a little bigger. About 600. I'm just going to go across the harsh edges. Because see, you can see a line. If you look right here over the orange and yellow, you can kind of see a more harsh line, and I don't want that to be an issue. So I just want to brush that out. It's already looking really, really good. The only thing is because the background is backlit, it's really taken, and the screen, when you put a image in screen mode, it basically lightens the image. And so I don't know the algebraic equation for it, but I know there is one. But basically, you're taking an image and lightening it. And so if you have a light image on top of a backlit image, you're not going to be able to see the definition. And then, so what we're going to do is at the very end, I'm going to show you a pretty quick fix on how to bring back some definition by doing some dodging and burning. All right, so we've got the green. We look pretty good. I'm going to go over here to blue. Drag that over to our picture. Change the size. That one looks pretty good, like that. Click OK. Add a mask. Change the color name. You can kind of get into a rhythm when you start doing multiple layers. Change this to a screen. You can even write it down so that you know, just like what different things that you do. And then when you're masking, make sure, I don't know if I said this before, but make sure that you're clicked on your mask layer, the little white rectangle. Go back over to my brush. And see, I've got some lines right here, and I've got color on her. I don't want that. So I'm going to make my brush a little bigger, maybe not that big. And then just brush away, especially on her. And that harsh line. Get rid of that harsh line right there. And if you ever question, you can always come back over here too and get rid of that layer. See, I can see this really harsh line right here, so I'm going to make sure I'm on my mask. I'm going to get rid of that really harsh line. You might have to brush over it a couple times until you get what you want. Get rid of this down here. And again, I can see where if I click on and off on my layers, how it's looking so far. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to do my very last layer, purple. I'm going to drag that. No, I don't want it there. I want it over here. There we go. And I'm going to change the size and move it where I want it. Click OK. Add a mask. Change the name. Purple. And then change to screen. And I'm going to come back over here to my mask. Click on the brush. Change the size of that a little bit. And I'm going to brush away. And again, don't worry if you brush away too much. You can always come back to whatever color layer you want and add more in. Say that maybe I want more blue than purple. You can also change the arrangement of your different smoke bombs. All right, so far so good. I think that looks really pretty, and you could leave it like this if you'd like, but again, like I said, there's not a lot of definition in the smoke bombs, and we really want that to pop. Before I get anywhere else, I'm going to go back into my history, take another screenshot or a snapshot, so I can see where I started, halfway through, and where I'm at. I kind of like seeing that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back down to my background copy. And this is where we're going to start bringing back some of the different layer or the different details of the smoke. So there's no real right or wrong with this one. It's just a matter of going over the area that you want to darken up and using your dodge and burn tool. This is just happens to be the burn, and it kind of looks like a hand. And then make sure that your exposure is at 100%. And you're just going to paint behind the smoke bombs. Try not to get on your people, because if you do, I'm going to just show you. If you do, look what happens. It darkens them up, and I don't want that. So go back into your history, and you can go back one, or say Command Z, which goes to your last thing. You can always go back up and say, oh, I hate that, and go back up to your snapshot and start all over. So again, there's no right or wrong. You just start burning the background. Oops, I was on the wrong layer. That's a very good thing to always look at what layer you're on before you start anything. So I'm just going to start burning the area behind the picture behind, only getting the areas I really want. And you might think, oh, it's not really showing up, but you're going to have to do this quite a bit, especially if it's backlit like this. Bring the size of your brush down, or your burn tool down, to get in behind your people, get in the little details. And you're going to start seeing more and more details. See how I brought that up? See, this was not visible really before, and now all of a sudden all these details. You just keep going and going until you start seeing all the details that you want. You're really just, with the burn tool, you're just darkening the background picture on this one so that we can get the details really pulled through. Of the smoke. And like I said before, there's no wrong or right way. I mean, I know there's like a bunch of different ways to do different things, and this is just how I happen to know how to do it. Other people might have another way of doing things, but like I said, this works for me. And you can do as much burning in the background as you like until you get the look that you're going for. See, all those details of the smoke bombs are coming through now. And now this is the time we really want to go back and fix and see, maybe rearranging the different layers. Let's see what the blue would look like on top, maybe of the purple. Use some blending. Get that orange on top of the yellow. I almost want to take some of this yellow away because it's a lot. See, you can even lower the opacity a little more and it'll blend it. It'll just kind of blend the two colors without taking one away. Let's go up to the orange and do the same thing right here so we can let some of that red through. Let's see, let's do the blue. So I want to see a little more green here. I don't know, I see a harsh line and I don't know if that's the purple. It's not purple. You can check. I think it might be yellow actually. No, green. I think it's might be green. Let's see. Yeah, looks, well, maybe it's a stick in the background. I don't know. But again, if you don't like how it looks, you can always switch it. Use a white brush and put some back. Yeah, that was the green. So see how that I saw that harsh line. So I'm gonna switch it to a black brush, amp up my opacity back up to 80 something, and get rid of it. Really blend it in so I don't have a harsh line. And then I'm going to change my opacity down back to about 35 to 40. I'm going to switch it back here because I did get rid of too much. And I want to just kind of blend it. This stuff can be a little tedious, but you know, you just have to keep going until you have the look that you want. I have another harsh line right here that I see. Let's find out what that's from. It's blue. All right, so I'm going to come in here on the blue. I'm on my black brush. I'm just going to brush it out. A little bigger. Again, it's just a matter of blending. I think I want that blue. Switch it. I'm going to come back down here to the purple because this down here is a little harsh to me. I think that was really pretty. The only thing that I feel like isn't dark enough, maybe, and that's the orange. And I don't know if it's because I need to move it over. Maybe it's being shadowed by that yellow, maybe. Let's move that. That's what I love about working with layers. If you don't love it, you can move it. Make it fatter or skinnier. However you want. I think I'm going to brush some back in here too. Got to make sure that I'm on the mask. Use a white brush. Brush some back in. Really blend it into that yellow. Go back down to the red. Get rid of some of that right there. Blend it. And I think I'm going to come back down here to the background copy. Go back to my burn tool and really burn some behind there. I also have another trick to show you. If I don't love this color and I want to change maybe the color a little bit, maybe make it a little brighter, I can always go and add a curves layer. So let's go to the orange. And I'm going to go right here on the right hand side where it says adjustments, curve. So I've added curve layer. Now I want to attach that curves layer to my orange. So I'm going to go up to the layers tab at the top, go down to create a clipping mask, and now I've connected that curves layer to the orange layer. See, it's right there. You can see a little thing right there. So you can play with the curves layer until you get the look that you're wanting. So I just want to brighten it up a little bit. It was too dark, and so I really wanted to really make it pop out. And so you can play with that. I think I really like that. So again, you can check it. Just turn off that layer and see how just brightening it up a little bit causes it to have a little more detail. And you can do that with any of the layers. If you think that the green needs to have a curves layer, again, click on the adjustments, click on the green layer first, click on the adjustments, curve, go up to the layers tab at the top, create a clipping mask. It's going to clip that second curves layer to the green, and then just move that till you get the color you're wanting. You can go darker, lighter, get more detail. It's just a matter of getting the look that you want until you find it. And again, there's no right or wrong. It's your image. If you want it to be super, super light and the focus be on your people more, that's great too. All right. So again, once I like what I've got, I'm going to take another snapshot. So now I've got 3 snapshots. I've got the original, halfway there, almost there, and then the final. Looks great. I'm going to save this as a PSD file. First, and then I will flatten it and save it a different way. Because if I want to be able to go back in and fuss with it some more, I want to be able to have all of my layers open so that I don't have to recreate, you know, the whole thing again. Now I'm going to come up here and flatten it and then save it as a JPEG. And that is it. I hope you learned something, and I hope I explained it correctly. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to message me. Again, my name is Tarina Matthews, and I'm from Tarina Matthews Photography, and I appreciate the opportunity that Squijoo allowed me to do this tutorial for you guys. I hope again that you did learn something, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.